Hey y'all, it's David Ducker coming back at you. And today I'm going to be talking about the 4 skills for role-playing games. And this is basically a distillation of what are the ways that you can be good at role-playing. What are the 4 areas that are distinct and unique that add to the game. So first one is going to be your writing ability. Skill number 1, writing. This is your backstory and all of the inherent plot hooks you provide to the GM therein, and goals. So this is the person who's good at writing. He's going to provide the GM with his childhood for his character, his adolescence, his adulthood, his initial training, how each of these things went, the stages of his life up to the time the game begins. And each of these chapters in his life is going to have its own places, be they just the training yard or the castle or the city or the country or whatever. You're going to have places attached to them. And they're going to have people attached to them, NPCs. Be they his parents, his brothers, his children, his extended family, his mentors, allies, enemies, friends, friends with benefits. So the writer as a player, or people with high ranks in the writing skill as players, are going to be the GM's best buddy before the game starts. They're going to help him with his prep. They're going to provide these places, these people, and all this backstory which has plot hooks in it. They're also going to be the ones to write out what their character wants to achieve with his life, where he's going, what his goals are, which can provide the GM again with more plot hooks and an idea of what to prep, where you're going to go, so when you get there, he already has it prepared. So writing, I think the best player in my group, or the best player in my local area, I should say, for writing is probably Aaron Kenderson, the Eternal Kender, or Rick, Big Daddy Rick. Rick has also got very strong suite of writing talents. So after writing, the next skill number 2, is artistry. And this is going to be how you describe what your character looks like, what his hair looks like, what his eyes look like, what his face looks like, his body type, his clothing, his equipment. And people, some of the players in my group will kind of sigh like, "Oh my God, ugh, Dave's describing his character again at length." I'm looking at the time. And because I'll go on and on about exactly what my character looks like and what his holy symbol looks like, what his armor looks like. So I have pretty high ranks in that skill. The other part of artistry is describing his actions, how he walks, how he fights, how he runs, how he jumps, how he rides his horse. All of these things that he physically does, how he casts his spells, how he prays to his god. So all of the physical appearance, artistry is very much a visual style. Although it can include, how he smells. That can be a great thing to include. Like Conan probably doesn't smell great compared to Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. He probably smells amazing. He's got perfume all over him, or cologne, or what have you. Skill number 3 is going to be storytelling. So this is following plot hooks, engaging in the story, keeping the momentum of the game at a high level. So being active in the world. Storytelling is great for people who have, even people who have put in no prep. So if you've done no writing, you can still be great at storytelling. And that's also true of artistry. Artistry, you can improvise your character's appearance. It's just you need to make it fairly consistent for the next game. But storytelling, there's no limit to your improvisational skills here. Completely different skill set from writing. Writing can be very passive, whereas storytelling is just being active in the game. And the last skill number 4, is role-playing ability. So this is the vocal ability to get in your character's head, speak with his voice, do what he would do. This is probably my favorite and most valued of the skills, of the 4 skills, because it's to me just the most entertaining. It's the most memorable. It brings so much in. I've had so many great, deep role-playing scenes with Josh Powers Pullman in various different roles, mainly as Quentin Larimore, but he also came in and guest starred as a knight of the Temple of Thor. I'm trying to recall what that knight's name was. It's not in my head right now, but it usually is. I love that feeling. Because I've referenced the character by name numerous times, but he's not in there right now. There's nobody home. Actually, this is the scene. It was my best role-playing scene ever. So look for my video, my best game ever, which I've already recorded weeks ago. Who knows when I'll post it, but it is recorded, so I'm sure it'll get up eventually. So those are the 4 skills: writing before the game, artistry, describing visually and olfactorily what your character looks and moves like and smells like, and then we get into storytelling, pushing the pace and the momentum, and finally into role-playing. Staying in character, doing what your character would do, and creating a character separate from yourself. So those are the 4 skills as I have distilled them. Big Daddy Rick, I believe, had his own kind of theory. He's got his own matrix about player skills. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think I've missed a skill? Do you think I've got too many skills? Are you so skilled that you've discovered a brand new one that no one else has come into yet? Leave some comments because I think this is a real good topic for discussion. What makes a role player good? How do you define it? How do you categorize it? Because I'm very left-brained, so I think about these things, and I judge players based on their skills. I'll rank them so that I can know who to cut, because I always cut half of my players, so I can come into the new game with half of the crew being total strangers, so I can grow the hobby. And I'll do a separate video on growing the hobby and building your local community. But that's pretty much all I got to say. There's 4 skills. Some people have very high ranks in 1 or 2. Like Aaron has great writing. Josh has great role-playing ability. Some people have middle-of-the-road ranks in all 4. Some people have low ranks in all 4. And probably the people giving the most trouble are not the people who are just weak overall, because I'll cut them. But the people who are really strong at one thing, like Aaron, and then really weak in another area. I pick on Aaron too much, so I'm not going to say he's one of those people. Let's put it on to Josh. Josh has great role-playing skill. I'm trying to think. His other 3, all 3 of them, I find at least a little below average for his other skills. Now he's non-disruptive. So he's not a everyday problem, but problems do arise because of this imbalance. So I'm going to sign out now before I waste any more of your time, though, because I think I've said all I have to say. Thank you for tolerating me and my rambling mouth one more time, and I'll see you again real soon, y'all.